Next video. In today's video I will show you how to deploy your node.js express app to serverless without using API gateway. Now I have already made two videos about serverless, so do check those videos out because those were in detail. And here I'm making this video because there is an issue with API gateway. So suppose you are deploying an express API which you have created with node.js, and suppose that the API takes around 10 minutes to resolve. Then you can't use API gateway, because I think the maximum timeout for API gateway along with lambda is almost around 1 or 2 minutes. It can't go beyond that. So suppose if your API is very long, then using serverless with lambda without API gateway makes more sense. So here you can see that I have just created a node.js application, and inside package.json I have just taken express. I have installed express and I have created two apps. So here you can see first app, I have just copy pasted this from the express docs, and there are two APIs. One is for forward slash, second is for forward slash first. Then there is a second app as well, which again does the same thing, but here the API endpoint is slash second, and I am just returning this response. The next step, what you have to do is you will have to install serverless globally, not inside your project but globally. Then we will have to make some changes inside our first app as well as second app, because we will be making use of step functions with lambda. So what step functions does helps us that we can have multiple lambdas running with the help of step functions. So if you only want just one lambda function, you don't need to use step function. So for that you can just watch my first video, but you will have to make those required changes of not using API gateway. So yeah, first I will refactor first app and second app to follow the serverless format. If you see inside my first app, I have refactored this name from app to first app over here as well as over here, and we can't add this listen thing because we have to export our first app. Similarly for second app as well, I have named this as second app over here, and I'm exporting that as well. To do is you will have to run this command over here, but while running this command, make sure if you are copying it from docs, make sure you add this dash manually, because I have noticed that when I copy it from the docs, this dash does not come properly, like it treats it as one dash. So be careful with this. Similarly for key, this dash over here, and for provider as well. Next, from where you will get this key. So you will need to have an AWS account for this. So you can have if you are the root user, you can directly get this credential, but if you are an IMA user, then you will have to ask your root user for access key and secret access for AWS lambda. Okay, once you have that, you can enter this value and just run this command. I have already run this command. Once you do that, you will have to run this command. So I will go over here and run this command. So what this command will do is that it will generate two files for us, one YAML file and one another one is handler.js. Okay, so here you can see it has generated handler.js and serverless.yaml. Also we need to install this dependency, so I will just install this as well, and we will require, I think, one more dependency, yeah, this one as well, which I forgot. So we require these two dependencies. So this is installing. So this one is for serverless step functions, and the one which we will install now will be for serverless. So anytime now. Okay, this is done. Now I will install this dependency as well. Step which I have done is first you will have to go to handler.js, and here you can see I have imported serverless. I have also imported first app, also imported second app, and here you can see I have referenced first app as well as second app. I have converted our first and second app to serverless. Also I will also show you how to use environment variables as well. so in this video. But this environment variable has nothing to do with API gateway, whether you use it API gateway or doesn't use it. These are more specific to Lambda, like how to configure with serverless more specifically. So next you will have to go to serverless.yaml, and here I have changed a few things. So first you can give your service name. I have just kept it as it is. Next, the framework version would be automatically generated for us. Then you will have to use this use.env if you want to, if you are using environment variables. Okay. Next, name is AWS. Memory size you can change it to whatever you want. Staging also you can change it. Timeout I have kept it as 900 seconds, which is 15 minutes, which is the maximum time. Then the region also you can specify. node.js also environment, and here is the access key environment variable which I want. If you see, I have also created one file called .env, and it contains this access key of 123. Okay, so that's why this is how I'm referencing it. Then inside plugins you will have to do this serverless step function, serverless.env. Also inside package.json you will have to add this this dependency as well. So this .env is for when you deploy it to Lambda function, but for local you will need this dependency. Okay. And if you are using env variables locally, you will do something like this, but do not but make sure you comment this out while you are deploying it to Lambda, otherwise again you will get error. This is only for local, and this refers to the .env, and this is, so this package .env, this and these are completely different. This is serverless.env, but the .env file format remains the same for both of them. And how you access it, so here you can see in forward slash I am accessing it something like this. The way you access it remains the same for both of the libraries as well. Next, here inside functions I have defined first handler.first, second handler.second. Now here you can see I have not added those events of http get, http post. If you have referred my previous video, you might be knowing this. This is because we don't want to use the API gateway. If you add those events, then API gateway will be automatically created for us, and given that we are not using API gateway, we won't get those URL once we deploy it. We deploy our function to Lambda, we will have to invoke manually. You can either set triggers or you can invoke it via CLI. In this video I will show you how to invoke it via CLI. Next, I have created step function, and to be honest with you, I have copied this from documentation. Only thing you have to be careful is whatever is your function name, so this I have kept it as same first function, and this remains the same. The only thing is this should be your service name, this should be your stage, whatever you have defined over here as well as over here, and this should be, again I have kept it same, first function, second function. Similarly for second function as well. Important thing is you will have to replace this account ID. So where can you get your account ID? Just go to AWS console and the right click, just click your name, username, and it should show you that username drop down, and it should show you an account ID. By default that account ID might have a dash in between it, but we don't require the dash. Just click on that copy account ID button which you see on AWS console, and it should remove that dash automatically for you. So make sure you replace this account ID with your actual account ID. Okay, to do is inside your package.json just add this deploy serverless space deploy, and then go to your terminal and then just run serverless space deploy, and it will automatically deploy your Lambda function, your serverless function to Lambda. Also now once that is completely deployed, how you will run it? So to run it, what you will have to run, suppose inside the first app.js I want to run this /first. So what I will have to do is I will have to write something like, make sure AWS CLI is already installed, AWS space lambda space invoke dash dash function dash name, then this is your function name. Okay, so this will be a service name dash dev dash first. Okay, so this will be for the first app, and then you will have to write dash dash payload. Then here you will have to write this echo thing, because we want to convert this to base 64, which you can see over here. And if you see, the path is /first, right? That's why I have to write inside resource /first, as well as inside path also as well I have to write /first, and the HTTP method is get, and this response.json is only once, so that once you run this command, it will create a response.json file which you can see over here in my project, and it will give you whatever is your success or failure responses for that particular API. So that's how you run your API. Similarly you can do it for the second app as well. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching.